for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dan Rose will not be with us this evening, and because he is home ill, and I will make a motion to have Mr. Thornhill moderate the meeting.
Okay, there's a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Approval of the agenda. Has everybody read the agenda? If so, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and support. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. And everybody get a chance to read the minutes? If so, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from January 20, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and support. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the bills. Everybody's had an opportunity to look at the bills. If there's any discussion about the bills.
I was gonna say, you'll just note that there is $150,000. That's a transfer because there is a general fund account now at Independent Bank, and that was to put funds in that account so it can be utilized.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to talk about? If not, I'll entertain a motion to pay the bills as presented. We have a motion and support. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Public comment on the agenda. Would anybody like to say anything about the agenda that we're...
Not about the agenda, but thank you guys for pulling the tables apart and using the microwave. It's much appreciated. Or the microwave, the microphone. Don't heat yourselves up even though it's cold. Thank you. It's appreciated.
You're welcome. Nobody has any other public comment? Okay, moving on. Supervisor's report. We don't have a supervisor tonight, so we'll skip that. Treasurer's report.
All right. So as you guys saw on the bills, we had $150,000 transferred to Independent Bank for our new general fund. We also opened up a tax checking account. Later in the agenda, you'll see we have a policy to approve for new tax receiving process. As far as the financials, everybody in the audience should have a copy. Couple of highlights. So net surplus of $479,329.40. That is because we are in the throes of tax season. There were a few disbursements that were cut out of that, but not all of the disbursement checks have hit yet, so that was a little high. And then for the month of January, we earned $2,292.04 in interest. And then just note that 5 of our CDs, we get interest on those quarterly, so I have indicated those as well as all of the maturity dates on them. As far as other items, just this month it's been opening of the new accounts and getting everything squared away to prepare for our next tax season, and then preparing for our upcoming audit. That's all I got for you. I make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
All right, we have a motion, we have support. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried to approve the treasurer's report. Clerk's report.
Clerk's report. Election on May 6th for Lakeview School. So if you're not in the Lakeview School District, which we only have roughly 112 people that are Craig County, then it's going to be one day only. If you're on the permanent ballot list, make sure that you're going to be gone to Florida, Arizona, somewhere warmer than what it is presently here. Ballots will be mailed out around March 27th. So if you're not around during that time, then let the clerk's office know. Clerk's weekend election office hours will be Saturday, May 3rd, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then on the IT upgrades, they are progressing with the new server. It is here, but the final migration to the new server won't happen until April, because we're scheduling BSNA because they have to be on grounds to do that. And with tax season wrapping up, March is not the ideal time to be doing that. So that is where we're at with the IT upgrades. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Report from the planning commission. Lee?
So we're having more discussion on ship containers and dwellings. We're gonna have more, so we're trying to find out what other townships have done, if they approve them or not. Discuss the battery entry systems again. We have some more things to it. And, we're gonna wait, kind of hold, see if that, the state still, things have been, probably charging the state, going to court and stuff. Then, we discussed auxiliary housing, or mother-in-law residence, as it sometimes called, put a small house on your property for mother-in-law or somebody to stay in. We're gonna look through, see what other townships are doing, and see what we can make our township and have them too. Because I think some say they gotta have their own septic that needs the same well, and how big it's gotta be and stuff. So we're working on that, looking at that.
Okay, thank you. Report from the zoning administrator, Dave Kelsey, is not here.
He gave us a thing, he permitted 3 for the month of January, and there was one that was denied. He's tried calling them because that was part of the Paris Road blight, and this one got in there because it's the same owner. They have a barn structure going up on Grove Street, and was not properly, there was no zoning permit, and it's too close to the road, no building permit. So that one has been denied, and he has tried getting in contact with them, and to no avail yet.
Mr. Brantley.
He hasn't been able to get hold of them, so.
Okay.
But it's been denied, and so he can't, and he has a cease and desist order on building from the county, from the court.
Has he ceased building?
Yeah, nothing's happening.
Okay. Is the Grove address where a lot of things are piling up?
And that is the next blight issue.
Okay. All right, very well. Report from community center.
No rentals in January, and we're putting on a few things to a couple different sites, kind of plugging the graduation wedding season coming up. We've had a few inquiries, but nothing for sure yet. So.
Okay. Report from the fire board. I guess a thing of note is we used to pay Montcalm fire department for mutual aid. They agreed to drop us from that, and we just mutual aid each other in our overlapping areas now. So we no longer spend the $3,500 that we were paying them, which is a good thing. And then we provide mutual aid to each other through our fire departments. They come north, we go south, basically. Other than that, we had 3 runs in Maple Valley, power line down, lip assist, and a structure fire. And we had a couple I think 4 guys are signed up for the fire academy, or have signed on to go to that, so that's good. Can't have too many volunteer firemen. That's all I have from the fire board. So, moving right along, unfinished business. Municipal building, hot water heater, and blinds. I see quotes for blinds, if we cover that first. How many windows are we
That's
going
5.
after? There's 5?
Five, and then on the door.
And one on the door, so 6 total.
And that price is good until tomorrow afternoon,
Through,
because through blinds.com. That's where we got the blinds for the office.
what's the grand total?
On the front page right there is $423.44.
Okay. 423.44. And this is just materials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then, Dan had said he'd put them up
So the labor will be free,
free.
and it's just materials. Materials is materials. It's not like we're cross-quoting labor. And so you want to handle these separately?
As far as, yeah, we can do the blinds separate from the water heater, yeah. Yeah, let's do them separate.
Okay, so we're getting materials. Your husband's putting it in. I'll entertain a motion to purchase materials for the blinds and have Dan Knapp install them.
Well, it's either Dan Knapp or Dan Bowes, a Dan.
Okay, okay.
To be determined, which three-letter name of person will be, because it could also be a TIM or an LE. I mean, you don't know. Well, I'll make the motion to purchase the blinds for the municipal building for a total of $423.44.
All right, we have a motion, we have support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. On to the water heater. Looking at this, we have a 40-gallon electric for $21.46 installed with copper piping and new electrical. We have a on-demand water heater from the same company for $4,977. We have a 6-gallon electric from Mike Bergman HVAC for $950.
950?
$950.
Wow.
It's only a 6-gallon though.
Oh,
And we have a tankless water heater, materials labor for $1,800. That is through JP Landscaping. And we do have one more person coming to look if the board decides they want to entertain his bid. Pardon me?
I say sure, and then I think we should just probably go on a dollar amount that we don't want to go over. I mean, we obviously don't tell that person what the quote is,
That's
but I
right.
mean,
One thing, the electrical's not included in Mike Bergman's estimate, so that's one thing I think we just need to be aware of, because the electrical was bid in one of the other bids, as well as the permit fee.
in
So-
Chrome Mechanical has the mechanical fee permit listed in there.
Yep.
And also the electrical work appears to be in there as well. Yeah, because it says connect all voltage in the panel, so his is all inclusive as far as that, so we would probably have to have separate electrical for the others.
Okay.
So it would be just installing the rod and maybe like a quad G5. There shouldn't be anything crazy.
No, it shouldn't be.
What's in there right now is electric, right?
That's, yes.
Okay. Well, I'll be looking at that with a guy tomorrow at 4 or something.
Okay.
And, we can, I think the JP Landscape is probably the most fair in price. If you threw electrical on top of that, and that's for a electric tankless water heater, which he's got $1,800. If we even set an amount of $450 to go with that, for any electrical items that we might need, that would put you at $2,250. And, I think that we can earmark that number amount to get the project done and see if,
The other
bid
quote.
number 4 is comes in cheap.
Okay. So I'll make the motion to set aside $2,250 for the installation and electrical of the hot water heater in the municipal building.
Support.
All right, we have a motion for $2,250 for a tankless water heater in the municipal building. We have support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Earned sick time policy.
I did just get an update from our attorney. She said for us to, I presented you guys with a policy that she had helped us drawn up last month, and she said hold off because there's a piece of legislation in right now that will make it potentially so that we will not be affected. So we'll
Okay.
exempt townships. Right now it says employers for 50 employees and under, but there's also verbiage in there to exempt certain townships under a certain population.
Right,
So
even companies.
in companies as well. So she said yes, to just hold off for now and keep doing what we're doing.
So for now, we're gonna
We're
leave it alone
leave it alone and,
until they get it figured out.
yep,
Okay.
so there's no point in moving forward with that.
2025 road contracts. Thanks, Lou.
No.
You guys have the spreadsheet of the road projects. The top part is allocated in the operating budget. And that doesn't come out of the road millage, because that's for brush spray, ditching, and chloride. And then the bottom is all the roads that we talked about at the January meeting that we asked them to give us a quote for, and those are the quotes for each one. And then the total, and then just so you're aware, now last year when we budgeted for our roads, we did for the full amounts. But there was matching programs through the county, and so when we budgeted for the full amount, not what the county may or may not give us. So that ended up, we had $114,000 left over in the road fund, so to be rolled over to this year. This year, the road commission is doing matching funds. If we spend $100,000, they will match $100,000
Okay.
in there. And then you'll see it's listed that we'll collect $158,700 in road millage funds. So if we would like to entertain doing all of these road projects, then we would, could potentially, we would take out $150,000 out of our, budget, out of our future projects bucket right now, which has $623,000 in it.
Okay. How much do we have allocated in total for the roads? Is that on here?
We haven't really allocated that, well, it's typically just what the road millage is, and then anything that's left over. So it'd be that 158.7 plus the 114 is what we would end up budgeting, because that is all millage funds. That $100,000 is what the road commission, if we spend $100,000.
Okay. I see, Limestone, Briggs, West Township line to Marble, Limestone, Briggs, Amble to Kohler, Grove Street and Coral, chip seal track.
That's with the smaller amount, because that's for those are the 3 roads that they had just done, the new pavement, and they like to get that chip seal on there within the first 2 years, because they have found that it saves the pavement longer.
So
And then-
Masters,
And then the Cannonsville one with this says chip seal slag, how they said it is that's the larger stone that they put on there?
Gotcha. Subtracts the smaller stuff.
Yep.
That's from Masters, Cannonsville to Coral, Masters, Coral to Lake Loncom, Black, Cannonsville to McBride, chip seal slag, the bigger stone, Cannonsville, Master to Black, asphalt overlay, Sherman Street and Coral, 4th Street and Truffant.
And then the alleyway between A and B and Truffant, that is the little alleyway that goes behind the hardware store and right beside the post office. There's a couple of great big holes there by the post office, and we've had some complaints about that, so I asked them if they could look at that and give us a quote of what it would be to fix it the way it is right now.
Roto Mill and Plague Black, South County line to Stanton.
You may be familiar with that road.
That's a lot of project.
Yeah.
Okay. So the total proposed projects for 25 are $522,609. And subtract the leftovers from 24, subtract the road commission matching funds, subtract the road millage funds to be collected. We have $149,909.
So it just depends on if we want to take that additional $150,000 out of the future project bucket. Like I said, currently has $623,000 in it. That is not allocated for anything at all. It's just sitting earning interest. Or we can take out some road projects and not do them.
Well, I think that township tax money in the roads is one thing that we can actually spend that everybody gets to enjoy. So I don't say we dump anything from the projects this year because that just leads to worse projects.
It gets worse over time.
That's right. So I'll entertain a motion to approve all of these projects and move $149,909 into this project bucket. I entertain the motion.
Oh, you entertained it. Okay, so Booth is going to make the motion. I'll second the motion.
Quick question on that. Is there anything about cleaning up those trees on Stanton Road?
That's gonna be all county.
There's nothing with township.
Nope.
Which trees?
The
The
ones
ones
that
that
in the
keep
road.
falling down in my road.
In the
front of
road right of
cars.
way.
Yeah, right,
And
right
they're-
off the trees, the branches in there all the time falling off. Some are pretty good size,
It's-
the wood too.
It's the tree that took Roger out. That whole area is full of dead trees.
The curves there.
Yeah,
Sure.
curves.
We've already told the road commission about it several times, and they have a new piece of equipment that they have been training on their people. So they can, but they're doing it on smaller roads right now before they get to the major ones.
So they're notified, they know.
They know, and they know that that is our top priority to get that part. That should be their first one in Maple Valley that they should be doing once they get up and going with that piece of equipment, but they had to get people trained on it to use it first.
Tim, they're pretty big trees.
So,
All right, we have a motion, we have support, roll call vote on this one.
I would love that, please.
Lee,
Yes.
Meg,
I,
Andy,
yes.
and I'll be yes. Okay, motion carried. All right, that's unfinished business is closed, new business is open. Adopt federal poverty guidelines for poverty exemptions in 2025.
Basically, we just have to make a motion to adopt this, that this will be the guideline that the Board of Review will use for the poverty exemptions, because this is what federally the poverty guidelines are. So we have to adopt it so that March Board of Review can use this when they are looking at any poverty exemptions. That's a household, number of people in the household.
Number of people in the household.
That's correct.
So the poverty line for one is 15,060. The poverty line for 8 is 52,720. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the federal poverty guidelines.
I will make that motion to adopt the federal poverty guidelines.
We have a motion, we have support. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. independent bank tax account policy for bank collecting tax payments starting July 2025.
Yes. So in the packet,
So yeah, that would be the new business, number 2.
yep. So we have a policy drafted that will enable independent bank to receive those tax payments on our behalf for township residents. I've also included in here, it's a copy of what they'll post at the bank. So it just is the rules, like they have to have, their receipt, you know what I mean, or their tax bill. The teller follows a specific process, they write it all down, itemize it. They immediately put it into our tax fund, and then on a weekly basis, they send an entire register of all of the taxes that were paid.
That people came in.
Yes,
So this gives people the opportunity to go into the bank
yes,
instead of into the township hall,
yes.
pay their bill, and then the bank collects the record and gives it to you,
Yes.
essentially.
Yep, so Pearson and Reynolds Townships already have adopted this, and it works really well. So really, we just used the framework that they've set up for those 2 townships, and we would be adopting it into a policy for ourselves. So it's nice because you can even go in on a Saturday.
Okay, and it's a particular bank?
So it would be the independent banks, Howard City and Sandwood locations.
Okay, so only 2 bank locations?
Yes.
But it still gives access at times when the township office is closed?
Yep.
Okay. And how will the people of the town be notified of this when it kicks off?
So.
If it kicks off?
Yeah, so if we adopt it today, it would technically be active, but, I mean, taxes for winter 2024 are due on Friday, so it's not really enough time to get it up and running for that. So our target is for the summer 2025 tax bills, and we're gonna send this out with our tax bills, like, put it in our newsletter, make sure everybody's aware of it, with information.
On the website.
Yeah, put it on the website too.
Newsletter, it'll be on the tax bills as well.
So the authorization comes from to
Yeah.
authorize independent banks, Sand Lake and Howard City branches to accept.
Yes, it's a delegated authorization to receive funds.
So we write them an authorization or something?
Yeah, we would just sign, I would sign a designation letter after we adopt our policy.
Okay.
Well, I will make the motion to adopt the policy for acceptance of tax payments by independent bank locations.
Okay, we have a motion and we have support to authorize independent bank to accept tax payments in Sand Lake and Howard City. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Fiscal year 25-26 salary resolutions.
Yes, since Dan's gonna be here, he did give me that stuff, so.
And is that what, here we have new business number 3?
Yep.
You want me to just read these out?
We can do that, if you wanna just go one by one, and if somebody wants to, because you just adopt them by resolution, each one has to have its own resolution. Just like how it's written out, so I did that so it would be easier, so we knew what they were. But
Do you have the old salaries?
It's in your financials. There's that. $2,400 each, and then $45 a meeting. That's on their operating. Last thing in the packet. That's what he sent over.
And Dan's with what?
14.
So who wrote these salary resolutions?
Dan.
Dan wrote these.
Yes.
Okay. When do these have to be adopted?
Tonight.
Thanks, Dan.
No, they have to be adopted 30 days, or not unless you'd like to table it and call a special meeting before the 26th of this month. Because they have to be adopted 30 days prior to the annual meeting, which is March 29th.
What was the,
Because like I said, the planning commission, he's not here, so he's not gonna do that, so that's gonna have to be tabled anyway, so. So if you'd like to wait and ask questions and.
no, we can handle this business.
So,
What percentage of an increase is it for the treasurer and the clerk? Can you give me that?
I have no clue what.
And how does that compare to,
I can tell you, looking at the salaries that he came up with, those are at the low end of salaries of townships our size.
Can we hear what the salaries are, or are we not allowed to?
yeah, we're gonna cover all of it.
We'll cover it in a
I'm
moment.
trying to get my,
Bearings together?
T's and I's and P's and Q's all figured out, right?
All right, thank you.
We'd appreciate time to discuss it among ourselves.
Yeah, what's the cost of living increase for 24, do you know?
3%.
3%.
And I know that when, because we looked at, Dan asked me to gather information I gave him for salaries from townships of our size through MTA, because they did a salary comparison. And I sent all that information to him when he was working on this with Blaine. And
Okay.
also looking at the increased, all of the increased things that the clerk's job has entailed. And as far as for voting
Yeah,
and all that, so.
I got no
that's
beef with the increases.
Nope.
What did the percentage come out as?
As, I don't know. Hold on a second. We're down on 5,000. So that would be, you have to forgive me, I'm not good at percentages there, so. It's. 19.5 to that.
When it was, last year's adoption, do you remember what we did last year?
What do you mean as far as, and, because we adopted in February last year.
So like, were they big increase last year?
No,
No, I didn't think so.
no, there was no increase last year.
Okay, I think I'm ready to have this discussion.
Okay.
The supervisor's salary, no, I want to start with the clerk and the treasurer first, because the other ones didn't really change. They're an easy vote, 2 and 10. Based on the information that you gave me, it's about a 25% increase. I'm not saying you're not doing that kind of work. I'm saying that we're spending taxpayer dollars on your salary.
Well, it's not for me, it's for the position.
Truly, yeah, and I think that, given the past times, those positions have been paid lightly over the years, you know. Are we a growing township? I have questions, you know. What's changed between then and now, and are we a growing township, or is just the responsibility growing?
The responsibility is growing, the township has stayed the same for, as far as I can tell, as far as census is kind of flatlined. Hopefully we can figure out how to grow it a little.
Do you have comparisons that we can actually talk about from townships that are our size that we can actually look at? Do we have that information?
I don't have that right here with me, because I sent it all to Dan, so it's on email.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can go get it and print it off if you'd like to wait for it.
Well, me personally, if we're having a discussion, I think that you are doing a lot. I think that 10% across the board for those two positions would be a fair increase.
Like I said, I just went with what he came up
I'm
with.
dealing with another person's resolution, which, of course, you know, I'm a trustee here. I'm a trustee of the township, and my basic job is to keep an eyeball on the loop and help Dan make good decisions along with the rest of you.
You know, I honestly do think we've already got to do a special meeting to appoint PC members. Why don't we ask Dan to bring his supporting documentation so we can have a full conversation on it?
Yeah. Because it might be easier when we do that, because we're gonna have that before the end of the month anyway.
Well, he should be part of this discussion.
Yeah, so.
You know, the supervisor's salary, he didn't put an increase on. That's a pretty easy thing to roll call around. And we can knock all but the other two. But what I just said, we put those amounts of $21,450 and $18,150 respectively. And that's for you and her. And then, Lee and I, nothing changed between, this year and last year, and the same with Dan. So,
I'm gonna make a motion that we table this and have it at a special meeting once Dan is better, so that way he can
be a supervisor?
be the supervisor, and he can tell you what his thoughts were when coming up with the draft budget.
You let me off easy.
I know.
Very well. We'll table this so the supervisor can be involved in this resolution. And the fourth item on new business is planning commission appointments, which is also going to be tabled so the supervisor can be involved in.
Because he's on
His
his
appointments.
appointments, because I don't have them, so.
That finishes our new business. That opens up the floor to public comment.
I got one.
Roger.
When you folks got voted in for these positions, you knew what your salary was gonna be at that time. You accepted that salary because you got voted in for that position. I don't feel as if you should get any increases at all. Because you accepted the salary at that time, what you made, what you knew you were gonna make. So there shouldn't be any increases at all, knowing you knew what you're gonna get paid to do this job.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have a public comment? Penny?
When's the, probably gonna say it wrong, so I'll probably get criticized for it, but is it the budget hearing? Is that
You mean
the,
the annual meeting and budget hearing?
no, the one that's the workshop, whatever it is, that's usually before
We
that.
haven't scheduled one yet,
You don't have one scheduled? Okay.
that is correct.
It is this time of year, right?
Yeah, it's usually before the annual meeting. It's usually the first part of March.
If we would like to have one.
Okay.
It is not mandatory that we have one.
Oh, well, there's always been one as long as I've known, so I figured we would still continue with it.
Yeah. Anybody else, public comment? Thank you, Penny.
Is there anything more going on, gonna happen with our neighbors back there, all that junk he's got?
On Grove Street?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we kind of talked about that a little bit. So we cleaned up one area and he moved a lot of it to a new area. And the new area is a point of contention that is, gonna get wrapped up in the courts. Same guy, same court system. Probably gonna get the same, probably gonna get the same thing put against him.
Is that sooner than later?
It is not a fast process,
It is really slow, actually.
Yeah.
because you're dealing with court systems, and you have to get through 3 tickets is way to get it, and then you finally get a court date. And we just had a court date with him last Monday, over the Paris Road flood.
So it's gonna be, could be end of the year here.
Absolutely,
Yeah, we don't have
Because-
the authority as a board to just go in and,
yeah.
Rip and tear.
yes.
Would we
That
like?
pole barn structure you got there has been there for almost 2 years.
So that's what we were talking about in the
Yeah.
zoning administrator report, was that has been denied. He has to take it down, and that has been through the court system already.
Good.
But again, it's,
Cause he built the previous one back in his backyard the same way.
Yeah. I've seen some of his pole buildings, they're extra deluxe.
Yeah.
he's a contractor.
Yeah.
Anybody else like to make a public comment?
I do. So how, the pole barn that he started that's not finished, obviously it's not far enough off the road. Is that, do you know how far it's supposed to be?
I think 83 feet from the center of the road on a front yard access. Actually, I know that that's it. It's 83 feet from the center of the road.
Is the one, the new one down here, that, right down here by the choral school? I don't believe so.
I don't know.
No.
How about vehicles parked open over there, pretty close to the road? Open hood, just sitting right there in the open. I went by it literally tonight, so it's just like,
Yeah, all of that is improperly
okay.
placed.
I just like, it's
So
a bad picture here.
Yeah.
as the public reports these instances, we'll do the best that we can as a board to get them cleaned up, given what we have to deal with each step of the way, you know? It's gonna be by the book, by the law.
And they got a wild dog running around too.
What,
wild
dogs and cats.
They're
I got that at Howden Lake.
trapping them in the back.
Okay,
In front of my house, looks really bad from the cats sitting in their chairs in their front porch and doing their urinating all over our siding,
where are they coming from?
all over.
All over.
We've had to replace the siding in front of my house 3 times because the cat here, you can't get it off.
Call animal control, county animal control.
Yeah. Does about that much good. I've lived in this town almost 40 years. I've never seen animal control here. They can call them, it's like blowing wind in the phone.
We're understaffed. That's what you're gonna get, we're understaffed.
Can I ask another question? Do you know what day you're gonna schedule the special meeting?
No, supervisor calls special meetings.
But it has to be by what time, when did you say?
We'll make sure
By
it's
Feb-
posted.
It'll be posted, I mean, once we get it, but we'll have it before the end of the month.
We have to have it in February, right?
Yes.
Okay. So sometime in February, and it'll be posted. And we'll try and, not make it too hasty so everybody can show up.
Thank you, that would be appreciated.
Yes, sir.
Do I still have permission to pull my sidewalk that's part of my house over here that's
It's in front of yours,
it's in
yes,
front of my house? I'm still good with that?
yes.
Okay.
That's one thing I wanted to bring up too. Then probably 30 years ago, when Bob Johnson was a township supervisor, he actually put in the Daily News, Greenville Daily News, that he was gonna repair and replace all the sidewalks on Oak Street. That never happened.
No kidding.
Never. And I was told at the time, when I come to a board meeting then, that if I wanted to take my money and buy my own sidewalk and replace it myself, I couldn't do it. Because of township liability. Liability insurance on the sidewalks.
No kidding.
Yes. But I feel that It's something, the sidewalks have been there all these years, it's something the township should take care of. It should be replaced. If you got this extra money in your bucket fund or whatever,
Sure.
that's something that should be taken care of.
That's on our capital improvement plan.
Okay, well, I'm just,
And we've gotten conflicting things from different attorneys about it because the Coral and Trufen are not incorporated villages.
okay.
So it's because it's in front of the household, it's the homeowner's responsibility. So
Says,
one attorney, and then another one says, no, if they're there, then we should probably still maintain them, not unless we'd like to take them out.
because I've asked in front of the stores and stuff too.
And that is the business's responsibility, and there's
Right.
their liability. Because we got a very firm and clear response on that, but the other ones throughout the villages, I'll use that term loosely, because they're not incorporated villages.
Well, let me ask you this, so like, I know that this isn't this would be a great discussion to have, actually. So like, I feel like how you promote, business activity in a town is to make it good for them, okay? And how do you make it good for them? It's simple things like plowing the snow for them in front of their businesses, even though it ain't our obligation.
But that also,
It's businesses that people have the luxury to go to in their town, and you help them by taking care of that and using taxpayer money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
but that also opens us up to, and the reason we were told not to, is because it opens the township up for liability,
What kind of liability?
all of it.
Moving the snow?
Snow, you don't do it properly, somebody walks on it, they blame the township because it wasn't plowed properly. So,
Accident related to.
there was an accident related to it as well, that we've already been sued over as the township. So.
You
that's
could
why-
have an argument with that too, though, but if the township agrees to plow your parking spot in front of your business, then the business should be liable for putting salt out there.
They should be, but, again,
Well, they can make the business liable for that. Make them
It's just-
accountable for it.
It's just things like that that I would like this board to start to think in that manner, and,
maybe that should be your pet project. You can call and find out exactly, and see what answer you get. Because I've been given several different ones on sidewalks.
oh, sure.
Because they're all, like I said, because we're so unique, because they don't have their own DPW. We don't own our DPW. Truth and Coral are incorporated villages. They don't have their own, so.
Public
in-
service department.
Yeah, they don't have their own service.
And
So,
public service.
and a lot of townships don't have, if they have a village within them, they have their own village entity that takes care of all of this stuff. Or they don't have a town at all. We're unique by having two that don't have its own overseeing, own independent government. So that's why we're getting conflicting answers, I think.
It'll be brought up again. Any other public comment? Ann?
Did you get did you contact Miranda to figure out the problem from last month with the
Tax roll.
tax rolls? Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you get it figured out or get anywhere with it or whatever? I don't know.
Spent 8 hours with Blaine on a Saturday auditing, and we still don't have it figured out, so no.
Oh, good grief. Okay.
But did Miranda give any insight? I guess, as I thought that's what you were asking.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm asking.
No, nothing helpful.
Any other public comment? It looks like we're done with that. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Or entertain a motion to adjourn.
Will we adjourn?
Branson,